Following on from the previous typed input video, we'll show you now how we can draw some lines. So I'm still in the CAD system. I've started a new drawing, so I'll go into line mode, and the option I'm going to choose is a normal line. Now what that needs is that it needs a start point and then a subsequent end point for the line. So it's like creating a chained line which needs the start and the end. When you're finished with that, you press the escape key and that finishes, and then you can start a new segment and so on. So we'll use that technique, but we'll use the typed input window instead of using the screen cursor. So what we'll do is we'll start off drawing, and we want the line to start at x, y, 0. So we use the command window here and type in x0, y0 and then press the enter key. So as a default we work in incremental mode, so I can now choose the endpoint for the line. So if I want to use just the line in the Y, I don't need to type in X, I just type in Y and then press enter, and then X and then Y and then X. Okay, so that's how we can just draw lines. Now going on from there, we might want to start drawing the line from a position which is not on XY0. So all we do there is we give it the start point, x minus 20, y 20, and then the incremental distance from there, x50. And that's drawn a line, as we can see there. If I'm finished with drawing a line, I press escape. If at any time I'm left with these blue lines, I just simply click redraw, press escape. So now we can draw the next line. Now the thing with drawing lines like that is that the current line will be taken from where the red marker is. That's the current drawing marker, so that's where the dimensions are taken from. So for instance, if I wanted to move the line and draw it back at XY0, I could type it in, or I could use the datum origin. So this returns the datum to the origin, so that now moves it from there. So now when I go, I'm still in line mode, so I can now type in the next line, x minus 50, y minus 50. So that's taken from the drawing datum, x100 draws a line there. So we can carry on drawing lines like that, but normally in that situation you draw a chained line so that you entered subsequent endpoints for the lines, and as we said earlier, the dimensions are taken incrementally unless you press the absolute button and then you change into absolute mode. So the absolute mode is shown by the red propeller, so that's telling me that I'm in absolute mode. So now if I want to type in the coordinate of a line, I give it the position x minus 50, so that's the absolute coordinate from where it was to the position I've indicated there. So now the next endpoint of the line, again it's in absolute coordinates from that red propeller. So if I just type in y20, that's the result. The line is at absolute coordinates from the datum position, which is that red propeller. So you have to watch out that when you're working in absolute mode that you have to type in both coordinates for the absolute position for the start or the end point of lines. If at any time you don't want to be working in absolute mode again, you just click that absolute button and you return to working in incremental mode. So now you can carry on typing as you like in incremental mode and so on. So that's how you can draw some lines. You can also use this to draw lines for a lathe. Now of course if you prefer to work in Z and X, then you just simply click this button here, so that's active. So now the lines are taken from the Z and X rather than XY. But if you work in X and Y, you can always just create a profile, and when you get into turning, the system will automatically go into Z and X, so you don't need to draw in Z and X, but some people find it easier to do so when they're working from a drawing on a lathe. So supposing we wanted to draw a simple step shaft, so we'll start off by drawing the line. So that will be Z and X, Z0, X0, that's the start point of the line, the end point of the line, X20, Z minus 20, X15, Z minus 30, X minus 35, and so on. So when you're drawing something like that, don't bother trying to draw fillets and chamfers with this method, because it's just too much aggravation, and it means you're having to think about the end points and where the center points are and so on. So the easiest thing is just to draw it as I've shown you there, and then just put fillets and chamfers in as you need to afterwards. So that's the easiest way to draw that sort of thing, rather than having to decide about the start point and the end point and the center point of arcs. Just draw the lines to the theoretical intersections, and then use the fillet or chamfer commands to produce the fillets and chamfers as you need to. Okay, so that's how you draw using the typed input window.